Welcome everyone to the MSL Silver Division. We're here in game number 3 of the Grand Finals. Glenn and Bean have fought their way back to fighting each other again. I say that because they met in the winner's bracket finals. Glenn took the series 3-1. Bean went down to the loser's bracket, came back up, proving that he is willing and worthy to be the opponent here in the Grand Finals. So we do have here, in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the pink Protoss, Glenn. Glenn, building pylons with the Blom. This is on Red City. It's a new map that I know almost nothing about, but I did see a crazy game between some Korean guys on it, and so I know it can be lots of fun. Specifically these expansions here on the side, really easily to siege. There was a big tank battle between some Terran players. I don't remember the games, but it was part of, oh gosh, WCS Europe, I think? I could be off. Either way, it was epic. So we have the opponent here. We have the green player, the Zerg player, in the top right. This is, of course, Bean. He's up 2-0 in this matchup, and because this is not a best of 7 anymore, because the way it works out, because Glenn previously having taken a series against Bean, we're now at best of 5 category, and so he is one game away from wrapping things up, and that's quite impressive. Also, this is a 4-player map. Check out that long scouting path. It's a pretty large map, and I wonder what the map designers thought this piece of land would be useful for. No idea. Let's go ahead and take that expansion. Also, high ground? Useful? Oh, this is a little bit of a sketchy area. So this does let you get kind of, wow, crazy map. Sorry, I'm probably giving all of you motion sickness. I apologize. Fast expand into pool from Bean, very standard. That lets you get that base up and running, and then shortly after that you'll get enough money for both queens simultaneously, basically right as this hatchery finishes, if he did normal timings. Let's see, still 30-something seconds. He did a little bit different timings. It's fine. It's no big deal. Okay, so he's going to wall off back here. I was wondering, because there are multiple ways into this area. Also, this area begs for cannons. I don't know if anyone else sees that. You throw a cannon or two up there and a cannon or two down there. Bam! Unless they have air support, you're going to be able to do some sweet stuff there. So this back door area is walled off from one direction, but not from the other. So this base is semi-vulnerable. So it is now, once again, going to be a 3-basing Zerg against a 2-basing Protoss. This drone is going to be super annoying and get its scout on while drawing cool designs on the ground with the shift-click button, which is, of course, not a button, but a key and a button, because it's the shift key and the right-click button. If you didn't know, you can queue up move commands or any other commands that you'd like by holding shift and then clicking do the thing that you'd like it to do. So you can hold down shift and then build some buildings. You can build something and then hold shift and then right click back on your minerals, so then once it builds, it goes back and works on the minerals. That's probably one of the easiest ways to get better at Starcraft. I don't know about any of you, but usually when I have played Starcraft, especially earlier on in my life, there was SCVs everywhere, just like chillin'. Like, oh, what are these guys doing? Oh yeah, that's right, I told them to build supply depots 7 minutes ago. Yar! We have some gas making its way into the income statement. We still don't have speed, though. He does have the gas for it. Is he gonna... No? It's fine. Is he gonna go for a fast lair? No. Roachhorn. Okay, we'll build a Roachhorn. That's how we'll use the gas. Also, there's no queen there, which makes me sad. There's 2 queens here, so one of them might lay creep tumors on its way over. Back at home, we do have a cannon that went ahead and got a sweet kill against that drone that tried to make its way in there. We do have more gas geysers coming down. We have 3 gates. Actually, 5 gates. That's a pretty substantial number of gates. like this wall. In that sense, this gateway is super vulnerable because it's got a lot of surface area on it. So maybe not ideal, but still it's blocked off by one thing. You get a stalker or two up here, and then it won't be able to target fire unless they see up, which is great. Robotics facility, so we're not going to see any sky toss out of Glenn at this point in time. Instead, we're going to have just a kind of normal robo gateway force. Looks heavy on the gateway, light on the robo. And previously, based on his playstyle, I would say that we're more likely going to see immortals than anything else. Mostly because he builds an observer, and then mostly immortals, and then focuses seemingly more on Templar tech, which is not a bad thing, it's just a thing. We do have the double upgrades going on, and check this out, this is what I was talking about. They can't see it, they can't hit it. Bam. So this is now being populated. The queen managed to walk this entire distance already, which is impressive because queens are ridiculously slow off of creep. Good job keeping the watchtower as well, watching those rocks, trying to make sure when things are going to happen. It's always kind of a toss-up with Zerg. You don't know whether or not to spread your overlords around because you might lose them, and they take forever to get wherever they're going to go. So you might lose them to, for almost nothing, or they can give you very valuable intel for a long time, and even block bases once you get up to lair, which is, you can poop out creep, which is really disgusting, especially because it's an endless supply. If you've ever watched them and ever wondered the physics of how that works, I guess I've kind of thought of them as just, slobbering all over themselves, but the constant supply of creep, that's just disgusting. That said, I do enjoy playing the Zerg race. I do just think they're absolutely disgusting. But I think that's kind of the point, so I feel pretty good about that statement. Drinking some water, because that's the thing that all the cool casters do. We do have a very important upgrade known as Warp Gate done, and it syncs up very nicely with +1 weapons. That's a big, important weapon thing, but his opponent's now actually going to have the upgrade advantage, as it's now going to be 1-1 against 1-0. Unless, of course, he's fighting Lings, then those are 0-1. So, another macro hatch. That's fine. They're kind of up in the air. It's gone kind of back and forth. Some of the Koreans have really enjoyed doing macro hatches. Other ones have not. If you're really spot on with your larva injects, it's been proven that you don't really need it. However, it can be handy because you can stockpile more larvae. And also if you're doing something that's really, really Ling heavy, it can be nice to get those extra larvae. We're going to see a flood of units coming out of Bean, though. A whole bunch of roaches. One thing I know about Bean is that he loves Roach Hydra, and he also loves mutas. So with the lair done, and 9 more overlords on the way, he's getting ready to build a lot of something. So there goes the Spire. I would not be surprised at all to see him stockpile a whole bunch of gas at this particular point in time, as mutas cost a whole bunch of gas. Roaches cost some, mutas cost a ton. Although building any number of roaches actually costs quite a bit. Good placement on that cannon. I'm surprised we don't have one up here. Look at that. Immortals fit through there, but Archons last game couldn't fit through the same opening. You figured they look like they're giant cotton balls. I would have thought they would have been smaller, but whatever. So, Immortal, some sentries, actually a lot more sentries. That's actually really good, as long as the force fields are good as well. A whole bunch more roaches. That's where a lot of the gas went, because I think they're, what, 25 apiece? Yeah, 25 apiece. So they're actually pretty expensive just to get any number of them. 2-2 on its way, that's a big deal, because 1-1 is just about done. There's only one forge. We do have the robotics support bay, so that means we do have Colossi on the map, but there is no extended thermal lance yet, and that's kind of a big deal. This is going to be scouted, but the Protoss army's in the middle of that, so if this the force fields have to be perfect. Okay, he could have chopped off a couple of those. Those are scary positions, but it looks like he should be fine right here. Most of these chokes are actually really quite narrow, especially with force fields, and with those Colossi, he should be just fine, but I'm really worried about the no extended thermal lance. That's a big deal. And also, he should be watching these rocks. Just saying. +2 should be going down at some point in the future. He's going to start building some additional immortals. Oh, yeah. He's not going to know this until it's too late. I think this base will, in fact, go down. That's my prediction. The Stargate is just about done. Still, why? Where's the upgrades? We do have charge being researched, but here the base does finish, and man, it gets smashed. Roaches, they scuttle. Look at those legs. They're definitely scuttling, but they're actually quite quick. He needs to be careful with those stalkers. Doesn't want to overextend himself. It's not really worth it. This probe here was trying to get a pylon across the map. That's not going to happen. He really does need to take that base, though. He needs to commit to that. These places are close enough that he can walk back and forth, even with this relatively slow army, and be totally fine with. That's acceptable. Why do we... why no extended thermal lance? We do have the infestation pit. The infestation pit is also no longer just for infestors and for unlocking Hive, although incidentally we do have Hive, and we have 3-3 on its way, and we have muscular augments. We're going to have some really interesting ground army battles, as the infestation pit is now also for the... oh, come on, the force fields. You could catch a whole bunch of those units there. Look at how... okay. He's catching... yeah, he's going to catch some of it. Good job. He's going to crouch right up on top of it. The problem there is that these Colossi could have been target fired. On the upside, they weren't, so that works out really well. And decent force fields, they catch a good amount of the army, and that's going to set Bean back quite a bit. Although Glenn did lose some, he didn't lose near as much. Looking at seeing how important that splash damage is, he needs to take that expansion. With this army, I'd suggest, well, it's relatively slow. I'd actually take this base. That's just how I would do it. Generally, if you have a fast army, you can expand more areas because your army can be more areas at once. And if you have a slow army, you want to expand towards the other player, so you just basically expand and straight punch them in the face. So, pro tip: slow units means straight. Fast units means all over the place. I don't know, all over the place. Good job checking for the expansions, Bean. I really love how you've been doing that all the time. So something we're going to see happen here pretty soon is that Bean is maxed out, which, of course, that's not happening soon. That's already happened. But he's maxed out on almost entirely roaches. He's got 104 supply in roaches. Roaches actually aren't very good. I mean, they're good, but they're not good. And that's the main thing. He might actually just be sacrificing all of this. He's going to get some damage done. So a little bit of engagement here. Good force fields. Those Colossi at back are just going to melt those. Oh, no. You need to finish off the first ones first. Finish off the ones underneath your feet. Finish off the ones underneath your feet. No, that's a really bad engagement. Oh my goodness, that hurts. Losing 2 Colossi when instead none could have been lost. 3 Colossi go down. Yes, put that Colossi up on the high ground. So he does clean this up. A little bit of a miscontrol there. I understand you're trying to get back and save your base, but you'd rather save your army in a position like that. Just as a pro tip, because now going into defending this looks kind of sketchy. Yeah, good idea to wall off. It was just a little bit late because your army wasn't there. And this is going to be hard to hold. That naked Colossi! No, pull the Colossi back! Oh, it's going to go down. Colossi are good, but they're not that good. Oh my gosh, is he going to defend it? Oh my goodness, 7 health! That truly is a Master Colossi. Lasering at all of those Zerglings at his feet. That doesn't actually spell anything. I was hoping that he would spell, like, LOL. That's something that's cool and very, very demeaning. I love that he's pushing the creep here to this base. Where's the Mothership Core? It's dead. Units don't have enough... It's really the econ difference here is what we're seeing. Although, it's not actually that because both of these players have massive, massive banks. The Mothership Core did pop out. Doesn't get to do anything. He needs to rebuild that. Takes out some of those creep tumors. Oh, the Mothership Core... Wow. Did exist, but does no longer. Immortals are going to help out a lot, but this Colossi is going to get focused down immediately. Yeah, check that out. Man, Force fields, that's going to help some. It's going to keep some of those engagements from happening. And look how good Immortals are against Roaches. They have to retreat because of the mutas, not because of the Roaches, just for the record. Although he's still going to lose. That probe actually saved that unit's life. Oh no! Okay, where's all the Stalkers? There's no gateways, that's a problem. He lost most of his production. That's why his bank is so large. Bean is continuing to advance. He can no longer expand here. And it's mostly become a war about production. We have 105 to 82 supply. It's not a big deal. The main difference is that Glenn is just about mined out. This base here should be able to finish if he can, you know, just continue to keep this army at bay. Love the creep spread. Well, I love this creep spread. There's other good creep spread as well, like this area. But this is going to be a whole bunch of mutas, and they're going to force a cancel or just straight up kill this building nexus if he's not careful. Whole bunch of corruptors coming up. It's a good move. We don't have a greater... Oh, we do have a greater spire. And where are the swarm hosts? We still don't have swarm hosts. He's really broke on gas. So we're going to see him mining a whole bunch of that, or hopefully mining a whole bunch of that. Is he going to not come in and save his base? No, he should have canceled it earlier. That's unfortunate. As he's getting pretty low on resources. You know, 1,900 minerals looks like a lot in the bank. That's only 20 zealots, though. Especially when you only have 10 minerals and... Oh, so you have 10 minerals there and 0 here. So there's literally 0 income. And now this is actually when Glenn is having a little bit more of a problem. Yeah, a lot more of a problem. This is looking really difficult for Glenn right now. So these cannons are boldly defending this area. These waiting probes. There's a whole bunch of these units that can do... they can clean up the creep. Good. They have an observer with them. That's excellent news. That's a lot of creep colonies that are dying. And fighting on creep is actually super dangerous. So pro tip, don't do that. Nice job expanding. Nice job pushing out while expanding. And then Broodlords are dangerous. A whole bunch of mutas there. The Colossi actually really nullify one of the main things about Broodlords, which is that the Broodlings do lots of damage, but the Colossi can kill them off so quickly that for the large part of it, that's actually nullified. Although now there's a little bit too many of them, and they're going to have to pull back. These Colossi will go down, and it looks like Glenn's going to throw down the GG, and Bean goes and takes game 3. And I might have previously misspoke, because I had more games to watch, and I still thought this was a best of... It was supposed to be a best of 7. I looked at the games and thought it was a best of 5, and apparently I was incorrect. Because we're going to go to game number 4 after this. So, good game. I think the real thing here is that Bean kept Glenn on 2 bases, and then there was a couple key missteps when you lost those 3 Colossi right here. That was kind of a big deal, as you really didn't have the ability to hold this base like you did before. When you had 4 or 5 Colossi and a whole bunch of army, that was not a problem to hold. When you had 1 Colossi and, you know, 6 Stalkers, you can't hold this, and I think that was one of the main things. So, anyway, good games, and we're going to be back in a minute with game number 4. When I say in a minute, it means I'm going to do it tomorrow and then put it on the internet at the same time, so you have no idea.